Excellencies, honorable ministers, ambassadors, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, greetings, warm greetings to all of you online and here in Geneva. It's always a pleasure to see you back as we welcome you to the resumed fourth meeting of the open-ended Intergovernmental Working Group on the WHO Pandemic Agreement. I will allow co-chair Matt to also have the pleasure and honor to greet you. Matt, please.
Good morning to everybody in the room, and also good afternoon, good evening to those who are online. To say it's great to be here, be back in this room where we had also many discussions of the IMB. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Dr. Chikwe, to Dr. Nadret, and all of the, I won't start a list, but all of the team at WHO who I know have been working tirelessly. I want to also thank IGWG members for all the engagement we've had in different informal discussions in recent weeks, and we look forward to a week of discussions, making progress on the key issues, recognising where we do agree, also recognising them where there may be different views, but coming together and finding a way forward and making the progress we need to for our May deadline. And with that, I will pass to Dr. Chikwe for some opening words. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks, Ambassador Tova. This is a resumed session, so we'll keep the comments fairly brief. On behalf of the Director General, who sends his warm greetings from freezing Davos, welcome back to WHO and the resumed fourth meeting of the IGWG. As I have not seen many of you since the start of the year, allow me to start by using this opportunity to wish you all a new year blessed with health, peace, and hope. As we reflect on 2025, it was a good year for strengthening pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. With your efforts to agree a text, the WHO Pandemic Agreement was adopted in May, and the amendments to the IHR entered into force in September 2025. As we start 2026, let's be even more ambitious and strive for a great year for strengthening pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response, hopefully with the agreement of the PABS Annex in time for the consideration in May by the Assembly. I'm encouraged by the busy schedule of the informals that you've had since the end of the holidays, and by the many hours the Bureau has spent over the past couple of weeks in preparation for this resumed session. I listened in to what I could during last week's informals, and the team has kept me regularly updated. Although the divergent views are still there, for sure, some will be with us to the last moment, I do see a lot of positive movement, and I think we can be very proud of that. I keep that positive attitude and momentum going as we embark on this resumed session of the IGWG. It's no secret the crunch time has started. And before we know it, the Assembly will be upon us. After this week concludes, you will be left with around 2 weeks of formal meetings. Please use every minute and use the informal period to iron out the differences that persist and come closer together on landing zones. The term I've learned is very important in these conversations. This process is a priority for the organization as it is for all of you. Please be assured that the Secretariat is here to support you in any way we can to pass the finish line. In an ever-divided world, we are guardians of public health, need to protect it, and we need to protect it from politicization. The future of multilateralism depends on the very discussions you have in this room over the next few months. Let the determination that led you to adopting the agreement see you through this week successfully. I wish you all the very best in the next few days, and once again convey Dr. Tedros's most sincere and personal greetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your message and your support. Please convey to the DG our also gratitude for his continuous support as he is in Davos in high talks. And now I invite you to move to the consideration of the revised program of work. The Bureau has consulted and drawn up the revised program of work for this resumed session, which is available in document A/IGWG/4/2 Rev 1. In line with previous practice, the program of work is indicative, and we will call on the flexibility of all IGWG members in case we need to change on some days. In terms of public webcast versus not public webcast, I would like to highlight the following. The discussions on agenda items 1, that is resuming the session and adoption of the revised program of work, this is what we're doing now, and item 5, report of the meeting, and 6, closure of the session, would be publicly webcast, and relevant stakeholders would be invited to observe the discussions. Now, agenda items 2, the draft PABS Annex text. 3, proposals from member states of entities to be included in Annex D and or Annex E of document A/IGWG/2/4, if any, and we do have 2 proposals. And 4, next steps would not be publicly webcast, and we will have the participation of IGWG members only. That is, member states, associate members, and regional economic integration organizations, and the observer delegation of Palestine and the Holy See. In relation to item 3, proposals from member states of entities to be included in Annex D and or Annex E of document A/IGWG/2/4, the Bureau has received 2 proposals from Indonesia and Switzerland, which have been shared with all IGWG members. With respect to agenda items 5, we will consider a short procedural final report with the main outcomes of our meeting. In order to prepare a concise report, as co-chairs, we will summarize the discussions as we move through the agenda. When the report is discussed later this meeting, it will be projected on screen, and we will have the benefit of interpretation in the 6 official languages to ensure that all delegations are able to participate in that discussion. Now, allow me to ask the IGWG if the IGWG agree to follow the revised program of work as contained in document A/IGWG/4/2 Rev 1, on the understanding that the revised program of work is indicative and may be subject to change during the meeting, with any changes to be communicated by the Bureau. Is there any objection? I see none. It is so decided. We have a mental gavel today. Thank you. Matt, please.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Tovar. So moving now to the timetable. The Bureau is proposing the working hours as reflected in the revised programme of work. In relation to time allocation, the Bureau has designated this morning's session as well as tomorrow's morning session for informal discussions. Further, we have also blocked the evening sessions for informal discussions. The IGWG will meet in formal session this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, as well as on Thursday, to formalise our progress on the text. We will be using the traffic light system to keep time. I would like to remind that delegates should deliver their speech at a moderate speed that allows for its interpretation and ensures their message is conveyed clearly and accurately. As a guide, please take into account that a 3-minute speech is about 330 words, and the gavel has arrived. Delegates participating virtually are reminded that in order to ensure appropriate sound quality for the benefit of participants and interpreters alike, proper equipment and connection must be used. The minimum requirements for remote participants are a USB-connected, unidirectional microphone, headphones, a strong and stable internet connection, and a quiet location. Please be advised that where sound quality does not allow for reliable interpretation or poses a risk to the interpreter's auditory health, they will suspend service. Kindly send your statements in advance to interpret@who.int. Does the meeting agree to proceed in this manner? I see no objection. We shall proceed accordingly. This concludes our consideration of agenda item 1. We will now take a 2-minute break and then move into informal discussion relating to sections 1 and 3 of the draft PABS Annex. Many thanks to all the relevant stakeholders for joining us this morning, and we look forward to engaging with you in the morning of Thursday at 9 o'clock and greatly appreciate all of your input to this process. Thank you very much, and literally a 2-minute break. Don't go far. Thank you.